Hi, I'm Helena. Today we're going to talk about tips and tricks on fine and thinning hair. I've dealt with fine hair my whole entire life, so today I'm going to talk to you about ways I deal with it. Let's talk about shampooing and conditioning. Typically, fine hair is very dry, so therefore you don't need to wash it as often. Once or twice a week is usually sufficient. I like to pick shampoos and conditioners that say volumizing, that are lightweight, that are made for fine hair because they're not as heavy and they're not going to weigh your hair down. One of my favorites is the Super Plump Volumizer. It is paraben free, it's sulfate free, it's 100% vegan, and it'll actually help with giving your hair more volume and not weighing it down. You want to make sure every time you shampoo your hair, you're going to condition it. So when you shampoo, make sure your hair is detangled first. Shampoo your hair. I usually use about the size between a healthy pearl and a dime size. You want to emulsify it in your hands first. Rub the scalp, get the blood flowing through the scalp. Blood flow is extremely important. We tend to clench up and be very tense if we don't get the blood flowing to our scalp. So really try to get that scalp to move. Scalps are a little tighter when your hair is fine, so you really want to get that blood flowing up in there. When you condition your hair, you're going to again put the same size, about the size of a healthy pearl to a dime size. You're going to emulsify the ingredients, start at the ends and work your way up. If you're using the everyday one, you can actually put it onto your scalp. It's not going to weigh it down if it's formulated for fine hair. After you rinse it out, you want to end with a cool rinse because that closes the cuticle. Heat opens the cuticle and coolness closes it, so that way it allows some shine. Color Proof also came up with a bio repair treatment, which is going to help with the fine and thinning hair to prevent it. It's a system, so you'll shampoo, you'll condition, and you'll put an oil on the scalp. It's also sulfate and paraben free, so it's not going to change your color, but it's actually going to help stimulate the scalp a little bit more to allow that blood to flow. Moroccan Oil came up with one called Volume. It's one of my very favorite shampoos as well. So anything that's volume and lightweight is not going to weigh your hair down. Once or twice a month, you want to use what's called a Detox Shampoo. And what that does is it helps to remove any product buildup, medication buildup, pollution. If you're a swimmer and you get a lot of chlorine in your hair, you want to use a Clean It Up or a Detox Shampoo. This one again is by Color Proof and it's paraben and sulfate free, therefore it's not going to take out any color from your hair. And this is good to use once or twice a month, followed by a deep conditioner of some kind. Now when you choose to use a deep conditioner, this is the one you don't need to put up at your scalp. You can actually start at your base of your ends and work your way up a little bit, but mainly concentrate on the ends. Whenever you're using a deep shampoo and conditioner, I do want you to leave it in a good 3 to 5 minutes or longer if you can. If your hair is extremely oily, you can wash a little more often than 2 to 3 times a week, but your hair will get used to not washing it as often. So try not to go too often. Allow those oils to actually come up. Like they used to say in the olden days, brush your hair 100 times. And the reason why they did that is because you're developing some oils and you want those to come to your ends for a conditioning treatment. So take a good bristle brush and brush all the way through to the ends before you go to bed, and you know you're going to wash it out the next morning. So dry shampoo is really important to use in between shampoos if you feel like you really have to wash your hair but you don't want to. This will help to absorb some of the oils. It has a nice fresh scent, and so this is really good to use in between shampooing. And it also helps to take out some odors from the hair that you feel like you might have. Now we're going to talk about products that you would use for getting some volume in the hair. It's a root booster, but it's a mousse, and it has a special nozzle that actually allows that product to get right to the scalp so you don't lose it all through your hands and your hair. You want to concentrate on most of your products being at the scalp, at the base of the scalp, so that way you get the volume coming through. I like to spray on a thickening gel or a thickening spray or something all over your hair so that way each follicle of hair feels a little bit, each strand of hair feels a little bit thicker. This just helps to make each strand feel more plump. When you use a blow dry spray too, you want to make sure that you spray it evenly throughout the hair and then blow dry your hair. I like to let some of the hair dry about 85 to 90% dry on its own so that way you're not putting so much heat to it, but you do want to make sure that you put the heat to it a little bit just so it opens up the cuticle and allows for more volume. So remember, fine hair is very fragile, so you have to treat it that way. Another product I really enjoy is it's a powder puff, and what it does is it helps to give some volume without doing a lot of back combing to the hair. Whenever you're back combing or you want to add a little bit of volume, sometimes we tend to break the hair. So make sure you're very cautious on how you do that, or use products for volume rather than so much back combing. Thermal Protectant. This is really important to use right when you're going to use any type of a heat. Colorproof, the shampoo and conditioners all the way through all their stylings do have some heat protectant in it, so it's actually building up to protect the hair, but a little bit of extra is not going to hurt it. Whenever you're using any type of heat, you want to make sure that you put it on a cooler setting, and don't go over and over each piece with a flat iron or a curling iron over and over. Let it cool off before you actually go over it again. When its cuticle is open and you put heat on it over and over, that's what causes breakage, and you wonder why you're getting a chemical haircut or a heat haircut. So make sure it cools off first before. So if you do one side, do the other side, and if you have to go back and do that bang again, you can do it then, but make sure it's completely cool before you actually put that heat over it and over it. It's always good to end with the hairspray. The hairspray is a working hairspray, so you can still get your fingers through it. I like to spray a lot of it at the base, make sure the base has some volume, and you can spray it throughout the hair as well. You don't have to use hairspray, of course, but I like to put some at the base even if I'm not planning on spraying it all over my head. Hope these tips and tricks helped you. Subscribe down below.